So this video won't be in any particular order, and I'm sure I'll probably miss some fighter that could also easily be in this list. But I'm just going to rank some of the fighters I think are the most entertaining. Now, this is just off the top of my head, so maybe I'm going to forget someone, but still, there is a lot of fighters in the UFC, so if I do forget someone, I'm sure it will happen. But I want to start with the first fighter, and this is a guy who's not that well known. He's only 1-0 in the UFC, but his Dana White Contender Series fight was very entertaining, and his fight style in general is just very entertaining. Like even his regional fights, I'd watched him on the regional scene. But it's Billy Goff. This guy is just a move. All he does is move forward. Even if you knock him down, he gets back up. He's the comeback kid. That's a good way to describe him. He literally is the comeback kid. If you knock him down, he comes back twice as strong, moves forward. His boxing's very nice. Now, he is very hittable for his style, but that doesn't matter. That makes it more entertaining. So I'm not going to go out there and say Billy Goff is like a future UFC champion, but I will say just his fight style is fun. He breaks people, and I think that you're going to notice a trend on this video for the styles of fighters I like. But yeah, I just really love his style. Really fun, mixes it to the body. I'm a man whore when it comes to body shots, like if some fighter mixes it up to the body, it's got me feeling a certain way. I just love when fighters do it. But yeah, Billy Goff, I'll have Billy Goff on this list for sure. Go if you haven't already, go watch some of Billy Goff's fights on the Fight Pass because you won't regret it. This guy's fight style is just pure. It's like a car crash. It literally is like a car crash. He'll get knocked down, yeah. He'll get hit real with some real big shots, but it doesn't matter to him. He's always going to move forward. It's honestly his style is literally just having fucking cojones. If I'm being honest, that is literally Billy Goff's style. Is that he has balls of steel. Because if you watch his Dana White Contender Series fight, he gets flush head kicked, knocked down, and still comes back. His cardio is insane. This guy's cardio, the pace he puts on people is really fun. I really hope this guy succeeds a lot in the UFC. I seen he was in like a car accident, but he said he's still going to fight this year. Just speaks to how crazy this guy is. But I really do want to see this guy like succeed in the UFC because I love Billy Goff, man. Billy Goff, one of the most entertaining fighters you'll ever find. Just pure entertainment. And I love him for it. The guy fought some fights at middleweight and won the middleweight regional championship. I don't even think the guy's that big for welterweight, and this guy's going up to middleweight and he's still going out there and doing his thing. It just shows this guy's insane. This guy's genuinely crazy, and he's perfect. He is perfect for the sport of mixed martial arts. So yeah, if I'm going to mention a few guys that aren't the most super well known. I will mention some, obviously some well known fighters on here, but yeah, Billy Goff is someone who people need to pay some more attention to because guy's just pure entertainment in my opinion. So like I said in this video, you might notice a bit of a trend, but my next most entertaining fighter is Michelle Oleksiejczuk. This guy just doesn't stop moving forward. His style is literally to break you. He actually fought on the same card as Billy Goff. And yeah, I generally I love this man. His fight style is so fun to watch. If you do not like this guy's fight style, then I don't think MMA is the sport for you. But Michelle Oleksiejczuk just literally fought at light heavyweight when he was literally eating to make the light heavyweight limit. Like he looks tiny for light heavyweight, and this guy is literally going in there, moving forward, mixing it to the body. Like I say, I like them body shots. Yeah, just moving forward, just constant pressure, landing big shots to people's chins. And he just breaks people in there. His style is just so fun, man. Just to watch how he fights. There's no quit in him. Like he does not quit. Like he will not stop moving forward. Like you gotta fucking take this guy out and you gotta sub him because he's not he just he takes a flush head kick from Chidi non no Chikani, eats a flush head kick and still is moving forward. He just doesn't stop coming. He's like the Polish zombie. This guy just doesn't stop moving forward and I love his style so much. He like I don't know, maybe I just really like fighters who break their opponents, because it's just so fun to watch. Like, they'll take big shots, but he's still moving forward, landing to the body. Like, I don't know, but it's there's something so adrenaline feeling about someone, I don't know, breaking another man. I don't know. They're taking big shots the whole time, and then they come back. It shows how determined the human spirit can be in that cage, because Michel Olaczyk is like a big example of that. And he deserves a lot of praise for his fight style, because I absolutely fucking love him. His fight style is amazing. And I want him to have like a run in the middleweight rankings. I really like him at middleweight. And his fight style, like I say, is just if you give him a striker, he's going to have an absolute banger with any striker you put him in there against. So I really hope he gets a really fun matchup for his next fight. But yeah, just a big fan of Michel Olaczyk. If you haven't, go through a career watch of this guy. This guy just doesn't stop moving forward. It's great. It's just fucking awesome fighter in my opinion. But yeah, and then moving on. This guy's fight style is literally like he's in an action movie and somebody's like it's like he's fighting to get his family back. Like that's how I describe this guy's fight style. But I'm talking about Gregory Robocop Rodriguez. If you've watched his fights, he is literally fighting like if he loses, his family is like gone. Like that is generally how Robocop fights. He fights like an action film fighter. It's actually crazy. Watch his fight against Julian Marquez. He's like a Terminator out there. He just goes out there and beats the absolute shit out of Marquez. Like it's like Marquez owed him money, or it was like Marquez had like his family in a basement or something, and he's like, the only way you're gonna see your family again is if you beat me. And fucking Gregory Rodriguez was like he was going in there to take his life. Even in that Park Yong Yong fight, Park Jong Young's having success, and then Gregory Rodriguez just doesn't stop moving forward and just clips him and KOs him. Absolute brutal fight, just absolute brutal fight. And then look at that Chidi Nchikwi fight. Chidi Nchikwi knees him and cuts open his like forehead, like cuts a nasty cut. You can like see his brain. It was that nasty. And Gregory Rodriguez is still moving forward, landing big bombs. This guy's boxing is like every shot is just a big bomb. Like it's power shot after power shot. I don't know. There's something so aesthetically pleasing about Gregory Rodriguez's boxing style too. Maybe it's just the sound of his punches, but every shot he throws is literally just sounds like a bomb. And this guy actually has really good output for like how big he is. He's very well rounded. Like I don't know this. I love this guy's fight style so much. Like every shot, he's just trying to end you in there, and it's honestly such a fun style to watch. He gets knockdowns in almost all of his fights. Almost takes everybody out in all of his fights. He did get knocked out by Bruno Ferreira in a really weird fight. One thing I will say about Gregory Rodriguez, his chin is very all over the place. One fight he'll be able to take like flush knees, and then other fights he'll just get KO'd with like a jab. But this guy is just so fun to watch. One of the funnest fighters in my opinion. He's up there for one of the most entertaining middleweight fighters. Honestly, I would love to see him versus another guy I have on this list, Michel Olaczyk, the guy I mentioned before. I'd love to see that fight. That'd be an epic fight in my opinion. Just a really fun barn burner type match. Because you see Gregory Rodriguez in there. He's either going in there to just knock you the fuck out on the feet, or he'll just take you down and kill you with ground and pound. He has some nasty ground and pound, solid submission games as well. He'll club and sub. He's just like he's got some legit jujitsu, but he just loves to throw them big power shots against people, which is honestly it's so aesthetically pleasing to like watch. Like generally one of the best styles. I love a Gregory Rodriguez fight. I hope he gets his fight against Brad Tavares. He's pushing for that fight for the December 16th, and I would love to see that fight. Honestly, I think that'd be an awesome fight. But yeah, just go watch some Gregory Rodriguez fights. If you just go through Fight Pass, watch him. His KO over Al Matatavo is just brutal. His KO over Josh Fremd, brutal. He puts a massive beating on Dusko Todorovic. It's just, yeah, this guy's just pure. He's going in there to hurt people, like pretty much. There's no fight where Gregory Rodriguez is like point fighting to a decision. He is going in there to hurt people, and he is very entertaining when he does it, in my opinion. Esteban Ribowicz is a lightweight from Argentina. This guy has been giving, big grapplers for his two UFC fights, and those fights were still crazy bangers. So you can imagine how fun this guy is when he's versus another striker. His style is just balls to the wall. That's the best way I can describe Esteban Ribowicz. His takedown defense isn't too bad. He got taken down a lot by Ratso Book, but he was just still going for them body shots, doing damage after damage against Kamala Kirk. Got taken down, but he's still moving forward, beating up his body, doing damage. He's just a fun fighter to watch. He seems to really understand the scoring criteria of MMA as well, which is always good. He knows that damage is the number one scoring criteria, and while he can do it, he's doing all the damage he can do. This guy's just non-stop pressure, always going to the body, always mixing up top. He's got an aesthetically pleasing style to watch, in my opinion. He's just a really fun fighter. And yeah, his heart in these fights as well. He's just always got heart. And this is him against like wrestlers, like real strong wrestlers. So I'd love to see his style against like an actual striker. I have watched some of his fights on the regional scenes, obviously. Not against, I'm not going to say they're against cans, but, not against like UFC guys, like level guys. But he's going out there and he's knocking these guys out. So I'd really love to see what he is fighting Elvis Brenner, who is another really entertaining fighter. Elvis Brenner, really fun fighter as well. And generally, I think that fight's going to be a crazy fight. 'Cause, Esteban Ribowicz versus another striker is going to be a really fun fight. This guy, I feel like this guy's going to turn a lot of guys into wrestlers when he fights them because he just has a fucking, like I say, he's going out there to break you too. This is another fighter with that breaking style. He's going out there to try and break you in that octagon. He mixes everything up so well on the feet. Like I say, you're going to notice a trend with my entertaining fighters. Yeah, no, I got a real preference for the type of fighters, but everything about his style is just so aesthetically pleasing to watch, in my opinion. And Argentina should really get behind this guy because yeah, he is just a great fun fighter to watch, and yeah, I just love his style so much. you know, this is him against grapplers. I'm just putting that into perspective. Not saying grapplers can't have fun fights, but the fact that he is a striker and he's going out there and having these super, super fun fights, even with guys with big grappling advantages over him, just shows what type of fighter he is. He's not going to go out there and he's not going to someone who's going to wilt under the pressure. He's going out there to win every time, and he's going out there to do big damage. He understands that damage is the number one scoring criteria, and he shows it in every single fight. He's trying to take your head off. You could be up 2 rounds. It could be the last 10 seconds in the fight, and he's still trying to knock you out. So yeah, Esteban Ribowicz, one of the most entertaining fighters in the UFC, in my opinion. Now, this fighter hasn't even debuted in the UFC yet, and I'm already going to put him in one of the most entertaining fighters. So I know a lot about this man. I've watched his whole regional career coming up, so maybe there is a little bit bias why I have him so high up. Well, not that this is a top 10, but just why I think so highly of this fighter. But I have Tom Nolan. We seen his big KO on the Contender Series. This guy is pure entertainment. He goes out there every fight trying to take people's heads off. His pace is insane. He's got one of the highest outputs in fights. Like, he is a big, tall guy, but he's going in there and he's going in the pocket and he's trying to take your head off. He's got crazy power as well for a skinny guy. He's got that skinny boy power, if you will, that skinny man power, and he has fucking bricks in his hands because he is knocking people out cold, like he did to Bogdan Grad in his last fight on Dana White Contender Series. I can't wait to see what this guy does. He's throwing all different attacks, spinning attacks. He's going for big shots on the feet. He's jabbing you. He's kicking you, kneeing you, elbowing you. He's just got all these different. it's the art of the eight limbs. He's using everything. I'm sure he'd be headbutting if you were legally allowed to as well. His fight style is just crazy pressure. He puts a crazy pace. He has crazy pressure. He's just a fun fighter in my opinion. No, he's not in the UFC yet. I mean, he is in the UFC, but he hasn't debuted. He doesn't have a debut announced or anything yet. Hopefully, he will have a fight announced soon. Because this guy is someone to look out for. He's only 23 years old, but he's always going out there for violence. Knees as well, if I didn't mention, he has really good knees, powerful knees. He just uses everything. And he uses it all like so well, man. Like it's just a fun style to watch. I have really high hopes for Tom Nolan. And yeah, from what I've seen, he is one of the most entertaining fighters, and he's just gonna keep getting better and better. But yeah, just watch out for this guy when he makes his UFC debut, because whoever they give him, he's gonna fucking put a beating on them, in my opinion. Yeah, I honestly have really high hopes for this guy. Now, this is a fighter a lot more people know than a lot of these other guys, and it's Sergey Pavlovich. I love everything about Sergey Pavlovich. His fight style is just so fun. He's a tall, powerful, long, rangy heavyweight, but he doesn't care. He finds his range so easily. He has an 83-inch reach. He's a massive 84-inch reach. Sorry, he's a massive power puncher. He has some crazy KO power. Honestly, reminds me a lot of Dustin Poirier if he was a heavyweight. Obviously, there is a bit of a skill difference. He is a heavier guy than Dustin Poirier, but he reminds me a lot of Dustin Poirier with his fight style. Like he just finds people and then that's it for you. Once he finds his range, he's throwing them big bombs on you. Look at his fights since that loss to Overeem, where that was a bit of a crazy debut to give him. But look at the run he's on. First round KO over Marcelo Golm. First round KO over Maurice Green. First round TKO over Shamil Abradimov. 55-second TKO over Derek Lewis, 54-second KO over Tai Tuivasa, first round TKO over Curtis Blades. Like, just something really just fun about this guy's fight style. He just fucking gets in your face, and that's it for you. Once this guy gets in your face, he's landing them big shots, and yeah, you're done. You're just done when you got to deal with this guy. Just a crazy fighter to watch. Just a super entertaining fighter too. And yeah, he's got to be up there for one of the most entertaining fighters in the UFC, because there's just nobody at heavyweight doing it like he does. Like it's just like a game to watch. It's so suspenseful watching this guy fight, because you're like, damn, how quickly is he gonna get this one done? Like yeah, there's just something. Like it's not just how entertaining he is, but the like feelings this guy makes you feel while he's fighting is like, fuck, this guy could crush like 99.9% of the Earth's population. Like that is crazy to think about. This guy, and he makes it look so easy. Like he generally does it with ease. It's crazy to see. But yes, that's why Sergey Pavlovich is on this list, because he's just an entertaining fighter and he's always going for the kill. And just the speed that he throws at as well for a heavyweight. Like he's not some slow, heavyweight that's just going out there and he's bombing people and he's getting these first rounds. He's literally going out there and overwhelming people with a crazy pace at heavyweight. Like you don't see like a guy doing it like Sergey Pavlovich at heavyweight, in my opinion. Like you do see people landing big bombs and KOing people, but not the way he's doing it. So yeah, that's why I got Sergey Pavlovich on this list. Now this guy, he's entertaining because I don't know, just watching him fight, it's like I said about Gregory Rodriguez. This man fights like an action movie too. This is Dricus du Plessis, of course, I'm talking about. Uh, yeah, there's just something really entertaining about this guy's style. I don't know what it is. It's like every fight he has, besides his last fight against Robert Whittaker, is like a competitive fight, and then he just knocks you out. It's like he gives you false hope. He lets you think, yeah, I'm gonna let you beat me up a little bit. I'm gonna let you think, yeah, I'm actually gonna win this, and then he just boom, knockout, boom, just random submission. Like Oh, you won the first round against me, Brad Tavares. Just comes back and puts a beating on Brad Tavares for the last 2 rounds. Oh, you having some success against me, Trevin Giles? Okay, boom, you're out. It's like I don't know. It's crazy. It's like you're always on edge watching this guy fight, which is what makes him so entertaining. Because you don't know. He can be, you can put him down. You can be putting a beating on him, but everyone's still gonna have in their head that this guy is about to win. Like, you can't ever let this guy off the hook 'cause he's always dangerous. And that's why I've Dricus Duplessis on here because this guy is just like he fights like balls to the wall as well. Like he will move forward, he will lunge from far away. Like he's not technical. He's not a technical fighter. I'm not saying he's like a brawler with no technique, but the way he fights sometimes is I don't know. It's so weird, but it works, and it's just entertaining to watch this sort of style work, in my opinion. Like it's just crazy to see this have so much success. But I love his style, and it's always a good one to watch, in my opinion. So yeah, that's why I got Dricus Duplessis on this list. Now, I know a lot of people found this last guy's fight not too entertaining. I did find it entertaining. I thought it was a nice technical fight. But besides that, all his other fights have been crazy barn burners where he either knocks people out or he had not a war, but just like a competitive fight where it was still a barn burner. I'm of course talking about Jack Della Maddalena. I think this guy's one of the most entertaining fighters in the UFC. His fight against Basil Hafez, it gets overrated with how competitive it was. He was literally like beating the absolute shit out of Basil Hafez in the last 2 rounds. Like he was literally on the verge of like knocking this guy out cold. But Basil Hafez just so tough. His Roundy Brown fight just drops him. That's it, drops him, subs him. Danny Roberts just puts a prolonged beating on him in the first round. Ramazan Ameev, one of the most boring fighters, and Jack Della Maddalena got a fun fight out of him. Pete Rodriguez, a fun, powerful brawler. Jack Della Maddalena KOs him in the first round. Ange Lucer on the Dana White Contender Series, one of the greatest fights in Dana White Contender Series history. And then all of his fights on the regional scene were all KOs and one submission. And when I say KOs, he was brutally KOing these guys. Brant Cogill gets brutally KO'd. He TKOs Glenn Pettigrew. Luke Howard getting brutally KO'd. Like he was literally just destroying everybody in the regional scene. And even now, Kevin Holland's just known for his crazy chin. And Kevin Holland was not pressing that fight at all. If Kevin Holland would have been staying, moving forward, not, not. I'm not going to say he was running away, but he was like not really engaging in the fight. Jack was pushing that action, trying to like knock him out with every shot he landed, but Kevin Holland seemed a bit wary of that power from JDM. But yeah, I still have Jack Della Maddalena as one of my most entertaining fighters. I think he's just been fighting very durable guys his last 2 fights. If it wasn't Basil Hafez or Kevin Holland, if it was any other guys, he would have put them down with the shots he landed. He's absolutely powerful, man. He is so powerful. He's deadly. His boxing is some of the nicest in the UFC, and he is always in entertaining scraps. Even if you don't think the Kevin Holland fight was entertaining, it wasn't because of him, because Jack Della Maddalena was pushing that action and he was going for the big KO shots. So yeah, I still think he's one of the most entertaining fighters, in my opinion. Next up, I got the Czech samurai himself. Of course, I'm talking about Yuri Braska. What is there to say about Yuri Braska? He's only had 3 UFC fights, but he already became a UFC champion. Absolute fucking maniac in there. The guy screams in Forest. The guy does some crazy shit, but also look at his fight against Glover Teixeira, the fight of the year, 2022. One of the greatest fights of all time, in my opinion. Like it generally is up there. Um, it was one of the crazier fights. He's just always in the fight. There's never a time where Yuri Prohaska's out. You can never completely count him out of a fight, and he showed that. Got one of his only 3 submissions over Glover Teixeira, who's never been subbed before in MMA. And then, brutal KO over Dominic Reyes, one of the most brutal KOs I've ever seen. It looked like Dominic Reyes was literally. I didn't think he was going to get back up, honestly, because the way he landed was so brutal. Like his neck looked like it just snapped. It was crazy. Brutally KOs Volkan Ozdemir as well with a punch. Brutally KO CB Dollaway. Poor CB Dollaway. He got fucking brutalized in that fight. Fabio Maldonado gets KO'd. He's got a lot of just pure KOs on his record. Just a pure, violent, powerful fighter. His fight style very interesting. Doesn't believe in defense. Relies on his chin. He's gonna eat all the big shots that you throw at him. Generally, a very fun, dangerous fighter who doesn't seem to care about his own well-being, and I'm not even exaggerating. It does not seem like he cares about his own well-being because he is always moving forward, even if you land big shots. Was flush KO'd against Dominic Reyes and just woke back up on top of Dominic Reyes and then KO'd him. Like, the guy is just insane. That's all I can say. The guy's an absolute maniac in there. But it is a very fun style to watch. And yeah, that's why I got him on this list. He is one of the most entertaining fighters in the UFC. I don't think he can be denied, really. I don't think there's a real argument. I don't think anyone's going out there and saying, Yuri Prohaska's fighting. Oh, not Yuri. Yuri's a bore fest. You're not going to hear anybody say anything like that. Nobody's ever going to call this guy boring. Now, I've probably jinxed it. Now, him versus Alex Pereira is probably going to be one of those boring fights ever, but I doubt it. I think that's going to be a crazy fight. Yuri Prohaska is violent, just a violent man in there with very violent intentions. He's only going in there to hurt people. He's going in there to knock people the fuck out. Like, he's not quitting until he knocks you out or he chokes you out. Like, the guy's only thing on that guy's mind is victory. And well, and because he's got that whole samurai mindset, it seems like the way he fights is, if I don't knock these guys out, then it doesn't count, because he's only got one decision win, and that decision win, when even was that the last time he went to decision was 2016, and ever since then he's just been going out there and destroying everybody and finishing every single person he's fought. And yeah, just a fun fighter to go back and rewatch his fights, because every one of his fights is just fucking batshit crazy. Yeah, generally just a really fun fighter to watch. So yeah, that's why I got Yuri Prohaska on this list. I don't think anyone's going to disagree with me having him on this list, because he is, like I say, one of the most entertaining fighters in the UFC. The most entertaining fighters video wouldn't be complete without talking about the highlight reel himself. Of course, I'm talking about Justin Gaethje. You can't have a most entertaining UFC fighters and not mention this man. Just all of this guy's fights have been barn burners. He goes in there. He's always got violent intentions. He's got that whole mindset where if he doesn't get a finish, it doesn't count. Obviously, decision against Rafael Fiziev, but still fight of the night. Fight of the night against Chandler. Even against Oliveira, knocks him down. He's going in there with violent intentions. Just goes out there, brutalizes Tony Ferguson, doesn't fucking stop, just brutalizes and ruins him for everybody. So yeah, thanks for that, Justin Gaethje. But pure violence fighter is Justin Gaethje. You watch this guy fight, and it's like he is fighting. It's like you're in a parking lot or something, and you're with your girlfriend, and this guy's gone, and some guy's talking smack to you, and you got to go fuck him up. That's how Justin Gaethje fights. He's fighting like he's fighting to avoid having to sleep on the couch tonight. He's fighting for his girlfriend's honor. That's how he fights. It's like he's fighting for his fucking family's honor out there. And every time he puts it on the line, and he goes out there and he delivers. He doesn't care. That's his fight style. He had to actually develop defense, because every fight he would not even clinch or wrestle. He would literally just go out there and eat shots, because he had this whole mindset of, no, I'm not going to clinch. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to fucking brawl. Even knowing he's a D1 wrestler, he doesn't give a shit. And it's always just pure entertainment with this man, Justin Gaethje. Like, never a dull moment with this guy. Just pure crazy power, and he, like I say, this guy just doesn't give a shit. He's just going out there to knock you the fuck out. And it works. His style works. Like, it's crazy that this guy is a wrestler when you think about it, because he's only shot one takedown or two takedowns, and they were both against Rafael Fiziev. But yeah, I definitely got Justin Gaethje on this list. And then there's only one fighter after this. I'm sure there's a lot more fighters that I've missed, but I thought this man needed to be included on this list as well. I did say another man needed to be mentioned, but I'm going to mention two men, and these two men both fought each other. So I'll start with the first man. Obviously, you can see it in this image. Charles Oliveira, one of the most entertaining fighters, has that shoot box style. Just that constant forward pressure, non-stop moving forward. You knock him down, he gets right back up, or he stays on the guard and he'll get a sub on you. He'll use that time to recover and then get back up, and he's just on the move again. The way he fights, he does not care about taking any fucking damage. He just doesn't care. It's just constant pressure by this guy. He's going out there to knock you the fuck out or get a submission or literally die trying. It's literally like he's going in there and he has the thought that, this could be it for him, and he doesn't care. He just doesn't give a shit. He's always moving forward. All of his fights are just crazy. Like, it's like he needs to be knocked down to bring that side of him out. But I think he's fixed that, because against Beneil Dariush, he didn't even need to get knocked out for that violent side to come out and him to knock Beneil Dariush out. He shows that submissions are super entertaining too, because the way he will get these subs and everything is just crazy. It's so fun to watch. He just has I love watching his style. His style is so aesthetically pleasing as well. I know I've used that word a lot, but I love when he uses the knees in the clinch, like to the body. He just fights with so much reckless abandonment, but it's also so technical at the same time. Like he's not just brawling out there. He's not going out there and just brawling, like a wild man. He's not brawling like that. He's going out there and he's having a super super entertaining fight, but he's not going out there and like going out there with no technique at all. He is still fighting to a very technical game. He's got a very fun shoot box Muay Thai style, and I love it. And now the other man I had to mention, who is also in this photo, as you see on the right, is Michael Chandler. Now this man just goes out there and fights with absolute. He just goes out there to entertain, pretty much. There are so many fights with Michael Chandler in the UFC could have won if he fought with a bit of a smarter game plan. But in his mind, he's the ultimate entertainer in the UFC, and I love him for it. Probably not the smartest career plan, but at the same time, I'm sure the UFC love him. He could have won that fight against Justin Gaethje, but he just went balls to the wall, mocking Gaethje like, "Come on, hit me, just hit me," and just doesn't stop. Like, he could have used a bit of defense in that fight and a few adjustments, and he probably could have won that Justin Gaethje fight, but he doesn't give a shit. Against Dustin Poirier, he's beating Dustin Poirier, and then, he just makes a little bit of a mistake. He loses and he throws the fight away from himself. It's just seems to be what he does in a lot of these fights. But we love him for it. It always makes for an entertaining time when Michael Chandler fights. He said he wanted to be one of the most entertaining fighters in the UFC, and he is one of the most entertaining fighters in the UFC, in my opinion. Yeah, I just feel like you can't disagree with that, and I'm really looking forward to his Conor McGregor fight. I hope he keeps that same energy. I know it would probably be better for him if he fought a bit smarter, but for my own personal entertainment, I hope he just fights with that brawling style against Conor McGregor, because that would just make for such an entertaining matchup, in my opinion. But yeah, I know that. So that is my list. Some of the most entertaining fighters. There were some other guys I could have mentioned. Trevor Peek, always entertaining in there. He deserves a shout out. Trevor Peek, that fight against Shepe Mariscal was one of the craziest fights I've ever seen. Just pure fucking. It was like one of them stole the other one's girlfriends, and they were literally brawling like fuck it. I can imagine if that was in a cartoon, it would have been like when they're fighting around, they're rolling around, and there's just a dust bin. There's just a dust cloud around it. Sorry, like that's how I imagine it would have been if that was a cartoon fight, because they were literally going around the place. They were swinging each other all around the place. Super entertaining fight. There's plenty of other people that I could have mentioned, but off the top of my head, I couldn't. So this is just the list I could come up with. So let me know in the comments below if you agree with my most entertaining UFC fighters. And if you managed to make it this far, make sure you leave this video a like. you give this a subscribe, you share this video. I really would appreciate it if you can help me in the algorithms for this video. I really, a lot of work went into this, this, obviously I don't even know how long this video is, but I think this is, I feel like I've been making this video for a very long time. So I hope you enjoy this, guys. Got to make the most. So I hope you like this sort of content. If you want me to make more like list type videos like this, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this, and thank you.